Where's our girl Kate? Kate's not here with you?
She's here.
Oh, I'm
She's in with Evan, I think.
Okay.
Dre's good to go and starting lineup and no restrictions, or?
Yeah, he should be good. Now it's just going to be interesting how you start getting the rotations because now I've got both Noach and Thad coming off the bench, and Noach is playing more as a 3 and has played well. In this stretch with Dre out, Thad has been very effective at both positions, both 3 and 4. We feel like that some nights he has a matchup at the 3 where he can post and get a little bit bigger, and at the 4 where he can use his speed and do some of those things. So now I've got to figure out maybe rotating in a little bit earlier, maybe an early sub to get maybe Noach or Thad in the game, maybe get Evan out or whatever, and then we can come back. So that'll be now the new adjustment is just how we get these minutes where we can best take advantage of. We sort of got 3 guys that are sort of playing in that same. When you look at Noach, you look at Dre, and you look at Thad, and I got to figure out now how it all pieces together.
Are you pretty confident that Andre's totally over this, or do you have to watch his minutes still?
You know what? He didn't say anything about his minutes. I'll ask him before the game, but he didn't give me any sense about that. So the 4 games in 5 nights, we'll have to juggle that a little bit.
How easily can that become detrimental to a team when you have 3 guys that do a lot of the same thing and maybe trying to shoehorn them enough minutes each that's proper?
Well,
it's difficult.
The big thing in this league is always minutes. I mean, that's the carrot that every player wants, because minutes normally mean the opportunity to play, normally to put up some good stats, and then normally to be able to get a good contract. So that's why I said, for me, I've got to try to figure this out, like how this, earlier in the year, Noach as a 3 and Thad as a 4 was not a good rebounding lineup for us. And now they're both coming off the bench. So again, this is going to be something I'm going to have to try to figure out. It's nice to have good players, and all 3 of them are really, really good players. Now I've just got to figure out how they all fit. And I can play Dre as a 2, so I can play him some in that spot. That really our wings are interchangeable, our 2 and 3 spots.
Are you anticipating that Wall will play here tonight, and does it change anything for you if he's not?
They're a little bit different team with Wall from what I've seen on tape. When he's in the game, they give him the ball, and he, just breaks down your defense. You have to really get back in transition. I mean, he's a one-man fast break. He's on top of the basket. He really had the critical play when they beat us in here. We went up 6, and with about 54 seconds to go, he just blew it past us and got a 3-point play. That really was the critical play, and that's what he does. It seems to me with Gilbert and Kirk out there running a little bit more sets, just from what I've seen. So it'll be interesting to see, how that works tonight.
When you drive into the arena back home, did you still kind of take a glance over at the Spectrum when you were coming in?
Oh yeah. I mean, my memories of the Spectrum. First of all, when I was a senior in high school, I visited Lehigh University, and my cousin had married Craig Anderson, who was a former baseball pitcher, and he took me to see my first NBA game, Sixers Celtics, in the Spectrum. I played my first NBA game in the Spectrum. I played my first NBA All-Star game in the Spectrum, and played in the NBA Finals in the Spectrum. And I guess the thing that for me is just to see how quickly things changed for me there. When you go from 9 and 73, and 2 years later, George McGinnis joins you, and then the next year, Julius Erving, Mo Cheeks, and all these guys join you, and now all of a sudden you go from being one of the worst teams in the league or in the history of the league to being maybe one of the most exciting. And I had that opportunity. So the Spectrum, yes, definitely a lot of thoughts. Sonny Hill actually sent me a text message today and said he and Doc was there, and that they were representing. So I wish I could have been there.
Doc mentioned your fight with, not your fight, I shouldn't say your fight. He mentioned the fight with Mo Lucas. That can't be one of your best memories.
When you're 26 years old, they sew you up in the locker room, And they say, hey, this won't bother you till you're 50. You'll scar up. Well, this is the scar. Now they get plastic surgery. So I didn't have any plastic surgery. I think Al Domenico stitched me up with a with a needle and thread back there he got out of his kit and stuff. But yeah, it was. I feel so badly because when I think of '77, how close we were, and then that memory was brought back recently with the passing of Maurice Lucas and what he meant to that organization. And then when I walk in here, I think about the championship I thought we were going to win in '78, and the Bullets came in and beat us in Game 1 in the Eastern Conference Finals, and actually beat us in Game 6. Wes Unseld tipped in a ball to beat us by a point. And after that game, I'll always remember it. I found out my father had only a few months to live, that he had terminal cancer and stuff. So when you go places and you've been around as long as I have, it's just everything becomes a memory.
Thank you, guys.